ルートパス確定。フレームワーク安定。接続完了。こちらラテラーノです。
つながったわ。これは本来なら存在しない楽章よ。The birth, the existence, the dying, the everything of my blood's origin. They are all here. Nothing left but pieces now. If you're interested, I'll tell you every story of them. Spread your wings and squall to your heart's content. Everything is permitted in these red plains. Spread your joy and excitement to the fairies. Let them sing and frolic with them. I will be waiting for you here.
Join in our celebration, Doctor. Your joy in this moment is enough to embellish my incantations.
And that is the list. Big congrats to the funny man himself, Logos, for taking first place in the global contest as well. But now it's time to compare each other's top 10s between CN and global. As you can see, Logos took top spot in both polls, but there's a bit of a disparity with a lot more dudes on the CN side, also with a 5-star in Amia, while our 5-star was Lapland. Though it seems that CN might have better taste, since somehow on the global list, a cockroach seemed to have snuck into the top 10. So maybe we do have shit taste. But now let's look at our top 10 if it was by total votes rather than a weighted score. As you can see, not much has changed, with Logos and Skalter still taking 1 and 2, but we did switch out an Ascalon for a Shu, who makes it to top 8 with total votes, but it seems that she wasn't people's favorites and her weighted score wasn't enough to beat out anyone in the top 10. Besides that, a little shuffling in the rankings, with Texas moving up and Moo moving down. Now let's look at the top 10 by those who were voted their most favorite. So these are the first choice picks, and we'll see the difference. Again, you can see that Logos Skalter keep their placements, and this seems more like the top 10. However, we do lose Shu from total votes, and we lose Executor from the top 10. Instead, we have a Thorns who got a lot of first place votes. Not enough to make it to top 10 in the total list, but enough to make it to this one. And we get Ascalon back, and it's probably why she's in the top 10 at all. She kind of got hard carried by first place votes. Not too much disparity in how the weighted score and the total score came out to be. A few different placements, but overall, around the same, with all the same operators staying within the top 10, give or take a few differences. Speaking of weighted scores and stuff, I want to briefly talk about how ties and stuff worked out in the polling and how placements were made when it came to that. As was written in the beginning of the video, weighted scores were looked at first to make placements. If they tied in weighted scores, I would look at their total votes, and that's what would determine placements. And then after that, if they tied both in weighted and total votes, I'd look at their placements. So if they got more first place picks or more second place picks if they didn't have first place, that's how I would determine the placements, if you were curious. A quick note on the bottom half of the list, since many of them didn't get votes. Originally, I was going to spin a wheel because it all doesn't really matter, and I didn't really want to have 311 through 266 for like 10 different ops. I just wanted clean numbers. So originally I was going to spin a wheel and just put them wherever, but then that was taking too long, so they're just in alphabetical order and lined up by rarity. That's how the bottom half worked out with no votes. Now it's time to move on to the other categories finally. Starting off with bosses. As we can see here, the poster girl for Dead Boss, Frost Nova, takes first place by a pretty big margin, followed closely by Patriot in second, and then rounded out with Kristen for a top 3. Surprisingly, Ebelana does not make top 5, instead being taken by Anduin. I guess she gets bullied enough that she makes it to top 10 because we see Clown Slayer in here. It is nice to see some CC representation here with the Red Avenger making it onto this list as well. Next up are NPCs. Unsurprisingly, Ace comes in first by a large margin, slightly followed up by Closure. It is surprising to see that while Ace is number 1, Scout does not even make the top 10. Third is Lemuin, who rounds out our top 3, with Emperor still being the top 5, and our Crazy X being in the top 5. We even get more Banshee representation in this list, with Logos' Hot Mom being in the top 10, Dimitri somehow sneaking in here, and 2 IS ladies. Cute Girl Radiant also makes it in the top 10. Also, yeah, all the NPC PNGs are a bit messed up, but you know, we can let this one slide. Next are the IS operators, which to no one's surprise, Tulip takes first place. Though it is kind of surprising that Sharp takes second instead of Touch. Just to how useful Touch is in IS, I thought she would have more favorability due to that. The Benoit Caster in Reserve Ops takes the first place, in Reserve Ops at the very least, with Sniper taking last. Overall, kind of an expected outcome. Last but not least are the robots or the non-humanoid category, which is why TRC is in here. Unsurprisingly, ThermiX sweeps the category by a pretty good margin, breaking 1,000 votes on just overall totals, with Logos Mom, kind of, taking second place in Phono R. Lancet 2 rounds out our top 3. Somehow, TRC does beat out Monsoon Bot to make it into the top 4, Monsoon, Justice Knight, and unfortunately Castle 3 being our last few placements. That was all the data. I'll go over it a bit more on stream, so if you want to hear or fight about the results, come join us on the stream, because I'm sure it will be fun to argue about where your favorite operator is. The results came out as expected, with a few different operators making it much higher than I thought they would, and some operators making it much lower, but overall, it seemed about what I thought that things would come out to. But other than that, if you liked it, please subscribe, it helps me out, and let me know where your favorite op landed. Thank you for watching, and till next time.